Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Human Colony. This is a Hucolo webinar. My name is Krishna Priya, and we have our very special guests for round two, picking up where we left off for the stuff that we couldn't get to, which I should have listened back and remember what it was we couldn't get to in the last webinar. But I think it was going to be a lot more light language in this webinar. Welcome. This is Human Colony. I clicked it and I thought I had it, but I didn't get it. So we're going to pick up where we left off. So welcome, Wendy. Welcome, David. In our room, we have some very special guests, Katie, who's been back from a long time ago. We have Angie. We have Will. Who else do we have? We have Annie, and Braden and Joan. So we have a Joan. Oh, you guys are back from Europe.
Ireland.
Welcome.
Yes, Europe.
Yes, perfect. Okay, Angie, you have some announcements. Go ahead.
I do. I have gone ahead and sent out the flyer for our workshop next year, next August 8th through August 12th, 2024. And if you're interested, we are going to, I can set up a payment plan. You can click the registration link. I sent out a video yesterday describing that and also including the link in there. So if you have not gotten it or you have not received any information on it, I did in the Hucolo YouTube, I sent out a video. You can go ahead and click on that to get more information. It is $6.95 a person. We are going to offer a payment plan. We are going to be in Ononda Park. It's a beautiful place and lots of oneness, fellowship. Hucolo Starseed gathering. Get in touch and meet your Starseed family if you have not. If you're interested, classes at hucolo.org. I will get all information out to you.
Perfect. Can you watch the YouTube, Ange, or not?
Yes, I made it public.
YouTube, or can you watch YouTube? It's not about YouTube.
I'll watch the chat.
Oh,
what did he say?
yes, I can. Yes, I can watch the chat. I was not listening to what you were saying. I'm like, no, I put it on YouTube. No, you were saying, could you actually watch the chat? Yes, I'll watch the chat.
Okay.
Thanks.
You guys are they're over there being crazy. That's why they're all like, their energy's all like woohoo, which is awesome. Okay, so let me come back to our dear friends here. Let me put you on. I'm going to put you on spotlight. Oh, we should do some blessings. Geez, Louise. See, they've got me all turned around. Who wants to do a blessing before we get going?
This whole room.
The whole room wants to do a blessing. Okay. Susan wants to do a blessing. Anyone else want to do a blessing? Awesome. Anyone else? Anyone? Wait, I can't see the chat for some reason. Oh, there. Where's the chat? There it is. Yes, we're back. Okay, so Susan will do a blessing in the whole room over there. All right, we'll start with Susan then, since the whole room can go. And who's that? Joan. Okay, we'll do Susan and then Joan and then the whole room. Okay.
All right, sounds great.
And was Will going to interpret?
Unless Wendy wants to.
Unless, no?
Okay, all right, hang on.
He's got to get in the zone.
Oh.
She got
An interpretation zone?
We're there. They're all here.
Okay, here we go. All right, Susan, whenever you're ready.
All right. He si kota ia sikaya tua. Ha si kitia hukua hitia koto hua. He si akia. He si kota ia he si ayete tia hua. He sikaya kua. He si ku tia ia si koto ia ia sikaya tua. He si aya tia. He si aya tia koto ia ita. Hitu koto sitia. Blessings.
The rhythms of the earth are converging. The resonance, the activations, the illuminations. The earth is talking and resonating. You are one with the earth. It is time for you to stand up. Receive these activations, these resonations. Allow your being to align with the earth and the light that is within so that it may shine outwards.
Thank you. Joan, go ahead whenever you're ready.
Uta kaliki ulahanaki haskala halukuni kila hana tanekis kala halahatku hana kadgalehe iskula hana takakuli kina hatuna tamatke enikoliska. Namaste.
Each of you is a beautiful being. Each of you has love to share. Be the love that you need to show, that needs to be shown in this now. It is time for you to share the love.
Scooch up this way. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm not muted. Thought I was muted.
Correvia takashi niasa to usa da vratakiana, alla vratiki etia ta santa rakiki, o shoto to santa vratiki, o kuai, et kia, shintia satoa, berevitiki and takasha tatativia torgula, vratiki imiana casa, the ke loco koshianda, vripiana nasa, tiatokusha trevatanaha.
There are many vibrations around you. You can choose the higher vibration. Allow yourself to choose the higher vibration and speak of the higher vibration. You are the higher vibration. You are the magnificence of this vibration, which will raise the vibration of everyone else. You can choose. Choose wisely.
Atukura satia nani yatiki at tukcho. Tuhuru usun udu o arasa naa, oroka te e nani chika totu. Puro oroka te ka chika niat petuku utu, miarakatara sanuru.
We, the Ascended Masters, are here with you, helping, guiding, helping raise the vibration. We believe in you, which is why we are here. You are amazing. My turn?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. I want to make you.
Can you get a little closer to the mic because the three of you are too spread away from the mic. Angie was barely audible and Katie wasn't that loud either. So please
Okay.
you talk into the microphone. Thank you.
I don't even know.
I will use my outside voice, okay?
Thank you. That would be great.
Exactly. It's been way too long, Wendy. Hurata arshihanat tiariatu utar arhinat atura. Shai kakashi akanatur hasha. Saya katatiriata ara atuta arhasukae. Sha shashananini ariata atutu. Utakawara atanat arshi. Hodo rortakashai. Sai hira ana akiharatura. I don't know if you guys are ready for that translation. You have all chosen this time to be conscious. You have all chosen this planet to incarnate. You have all gathered together, converged together in this now to ascend, to help the ascension, to raise the vibration, to elevate, to overcome these minor obstacles of contrast and hate, division, to bring forth the unity, the laughter, the love.
Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, perfect. Let's see. Let's make you guys. There we go. So, Wendy, David, welcome back.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Oh, my gosh, this is really beyond belief. I'm going to
You wanna
start
give
myself.
blessings?
I was going to say I'm going to start myself with blessings. So I just
Okay.
wanted to say, first all, is just what a blessing to be here today in this way, in this now with all of you. Thank you. The visomote jindo ya in tala zombo janda kinte guni impoi hana mi impoi hisheno. Inimbikiano mi shibikuyana mi tabikupayada shiburuniava iparo shiva supporti visana sepandi. Inaya bori gayana maya bushupuriano, alukotive sabashi, kiana se, surgino yava kiteba supporti vishevo. In Giato Visiborivision Muyala ki or Juje, Shamiaba Sote, a Jume Shavesi Angoya Vizuria Shanose, Sivasone, Ti Ikija, Shobasha, and Pilagini ki, the Vizuje, Tiamasha Vesomborishe, o higher, no Yavalakano Miashopodia Sonia, Tavisonokoya, et Shese Meso, Alinda Vico Misha to Boria, Shanikia to Vesapashiana. I'm not even sure I could even put words to any of that. So the good division. It was a message of such a beautiful gathering, and all of the words that everybody said as far as all this coming together from all of the dimensions, from the infiniteness of which we are just beginning to touch our toe in the pond and begin to understand how deeply and so quantumly connected that we all are. That is such a beautiful realization in my heart as the light languages are coming through, when I see this beautiful realization of the infiniteness of the connectedness of all of us and how we get to play that right here. And so it was, sometimes my words can't seem to convey really what the, what's in all of the messages. So, and Dave.
Tuaya ka ni I tuaya. Iowa I can uaya. Hey, ka an ti tuaya. Hey, ka na tuaya. Hey, ka ni tuaya ni te o tuaya te ni o na te ea. Wana te kana te uaya ka ita. Uua a ne te wana. Tia te ai koana nana. Te nuana na e tuana a e. Wane ta a ua te ana ta ua te iana tu u ta nea ta a. And we're very excited for all of us to be together for this co-creation.
I was wondering if you had your own interpretations.
Do you have an interpretation for it?
I wasn't really listening. I was just letting it flow.
Well, the funny message that I was actually hearing as he was speaking, and whether it's an interpretation or just part of the energy, but what I was hearing is that I am in such deep gratitude to all of you, because if it was because of all of you, and I mean all of you, and this space and that we even met. And this is what's so interestingly connectedness about when we don't understand necessarily the multidimensional orchestrations and coordinations that happen. And of course, we see them in hindsight, because we're human and that's how we see things and linearly. And I'm so blessed today to be again in this energy and with Will and Katie and all of you. Oh my God, I want to say synchronistically, I did not have some of my journals down here with me. And right before we were getting ready to start, I ran upstairs to grab a couple. I opened up a journal, I swear to God, and it was the page in which I first met Katie and Will in person at a Beyond Belief retreat that was orchestrated with Will. I got to meet Jim for the first time. I got to meet Angie for the first time. I got to meet so many people for the first time. And those kinds of gatherings, yes, are just seriously the name of the retreat was Beyond Belief, and well titled, Will, because it really was beyond belief, and it is beyond belief when we get to meet each other in these ways and physically. And it was the catalyst to everything for me, the catalyst that weekend, meeting everybody, meeting Jim, just the whole interaction of everybody. And that meeting and how the friendships that carried through, all of that since that time. So yes, if all of you have ever had the opportunity and the means to do it, I highly recommend, if you haven't yet, to gather physically. It's literally beyond words. And so I'm still got goosebumps. So there's a that weekend was so interesting in that how it led me to oracle cards, how it led me to channeling in a way I have never channeled before, and experiences I had never had before. That weekend really, really opened up all kinds of things for me. And then when I, a couple years ago, followed my highest joy and was invited to a light language event in which I was hosting, talking about light languages. I was invited by someone else.
You were a presenter.
I was a presenter. Thank you. And it was a weird, crazy, terrifying experience, and everything that, as we talked a little bit about, that could go wrong did go wrong, but everything went right. It was wonderful and perfect, and I got to meet Dave in person for the first time there. And so light languages, human colony, and then Will and Katie coming to that event as well, being there to support me in my first public event, speaking light languages out in public to a group of people that were for the most part, all were complete strangers to me, including the person that invited me as a presenter. I had never met her at all either. And if many of you might remember Bree, my buddy Bree was there. She came as a presenter as well, and she was the kind of on the technical end of things as well. She is my friend and tech advisor at the time. And so it just really was instrumental in my whole ascension and growth. And it was just such a beautiful synchronicity that I opened up to that page today. And I literally can be in the vibration of it all again just by remembering it. So, so anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, and it was really right around that time, which is interesting, that I started my YouTube channel on January of 2015. It was right around that time I started getting using the sacred circuits that we talked about before through channeling from Bashar, and it was then I started getting all these downloads of circuitry, and that's what they told me. These are light code circuits. These are information, multidimensional information. And so I just started getting all kinds of stuff, and images and information would come through, and they would sometimes identify what it is, and sometimes they wouldn't. And I literally have just volumes of these things. And so Dave and I recently have been guided to share them and put them out to the world. You can buy them on Amazon now. They're journals based on.
So on Wendy's website, there are.
I'm so bad at this, you guys, because I just do what I do.
For weekly planners, journals.
Right.
Just composition books that are filled with light language. And Wendy was guided to come up with ideas where people that might not know anything at all about light language and stumble upon just composition books that look really neat and are attracted to them, and might want to take it to school or take it to work or take it wherever. And the activations within the light language written on them would be shared throughout wherever they might be. and they might be aware of it and they might not be aware
And
of it.
they actually started telling me, and I say they, okay, let me just back up a second, my guides. So I'm receiving this information in meditations, and typically it happens early in the morning, but I received this information. They started saying to me, you know, we're opening up to open contact in a big way. And part of my discovery in Hucolo, as well as in my own journey, was my connections and my own parallel versions of me in other star systems, as many and all of you are discovering about yourselves as well. And a deeper understanding that we are fractal souls having an infinite number of experiences from, and we also share these souls with each other, and the oversouls are connected and so forth. So we begin to understand the interconnectedness of all of us. And these drawings, symbols, signs, it's like they were saying to me that these are being downloaded to us because we've invited it. We've invited this information. We are higher tuned receivers now. We are becoming, as we raise our frequency, and especially when we are gathering together, speaking light languages, allowing ourselves to be our true selves, our authentic selves. That is the key. That's sort of the key to all of this. Is it really, in a nutshell, is helping people become and understand, and maybe even on an innate level, wake up to themselves. And so, for example, if you're excited about being a scientist, or you're in school, or you're or you're working and you are working on projects, or they literally said that these signs and symbols actually help us form new synapses in our brain to have higher understandings, to be able to retain information more fully, to access parts of our imagination that were not accessible to it. It's not that they weren't accessible to us. It's that we're really aware that these parts of us were even a part of us, and that we could receive and exchange information from our multidimensional selves and share it. And now you see there's lots of people in Facebook groups and all over the internet sharing these symbols and light codes. In 2016, I could only find maybe a few people that were actually even doing this or sharing this kind of information. So I didn't really have anybody to compare to or talk to about it. There weren't a lot of us, even in Hucolo, that were even talking about this stuff. And so as I started speaking more light languages and doing more videos, I started getting more downloads of information about, and I started just filling up all of these journals of all of these light codes. And I started sharing them here and there, but not really in a big way. Just in my videos. And then the more I would share them, the more I would receive. And so it was only until recently with, Dave is a graphic designer and web designer and that kind of programmer. So I just got this download one day, not too long ago, I don't know how many months ago it was now, to put this out there for people so that when they're just laying out there, that people just get them on the mainstream. That's really was the message to me. Get them out in the mainstream and help people understand they have the power to manifest themselves. And so we actually that's why we came up with the manifestation weekly planner thing, because I use them for that too. Myself, I was just using them to intentionally open myself up to my ET guides, my angelic guides, more information, maybe information about my star families. How can I receive more information? And by sharing them, how can it help other people connect with their guides, and open up their highest joys and gifts and abilities? And so, for example, again, like the school and work thing, to help us accelerate what we're already good at, help us accelerate utilizing our gifts in new ways that we maybe hadn't even thought of yet. And so many people combining now too different modalities, as many of you already do, and as many of us have been guided to do. I had never been introduced to Reiki until I met Jim and Max. So it was a very interesting experience for me in both directions. Even Max kind of chuckled when I first met him in Chicago, the other founder of Human Colony, as many of you already know, and those of you who don't. And when I first met Max, and he was doing Reiki on me, and he said, I can't even do Reiki on you because I keep getting reverse Reiki. And I was like, I'm like, what? And and he said, I've never met anyone so alien as you. And now, mind you, I knew Max, but not, you know, I had been a part of Human Colony for a little while, but I was like, so that was kind of took me aback a little bit. And he was like, so anyway, that also that meeting him in person too. And it was funny because he was just getting ready to move to California, where he is now. And that was his last weekend in Chicago and my last opportunity to meet him, because at the time I lived in the Chicago area. So a lot of little synchronicities with that too. And it happened to be at a crystal shop, and there was all kinds of other healers in the room. So boy, talk about that room being abuzz with energy. And we did a Hucolo webinar that weekend. It's in the archives someplace. I did a Hucolo webinar with Max at his house that day in Chicago, and Brian Sims, if some of you might remember Brian.
Yeah.
Brian was there, and so I got to meet Brian for the first time also at the same time. It was crazy. So
Was Sabrina there too?
No, it was just me. Wait, me, Max, Brian.
This was there. There's like a fourth person.
Trying to think who else was there. I met, so I got to meet Max's wife and his kids. I think it was just me and Brian. And
I do remember.
And at the Beyond Belief retreat, oh my God, I got to meet so many people, and it was just such a wow. And then so I started getting more and more, like I wanted to show just a couple, like, oh, here's this one is 111, and it's, anyway, if anybody knows, I like really repeating numbers. But they started to show me, for example, like these circuits here are kind of similar to the Syrian sacred circuits. So when I started using them, I started asking to my Syrian guides. I know we're, so many of us, of course, and most of us are connected to the Sirius star system. We carry the DNA. Of course, I think most of us already know all of this by now. And so I started asking for more information, like from my Syrian guides, clarification, just everything, you know, it's just like we all are. I want to know more. I want to know more. I want to experience more. I've had more experiences sitting still in meditation than I could have ever imagined doing physically. So but what they started to explain a little bit was, as we share these out in the world, that we're sharing the star stories. We're sharing information that could be a packet of information, maybe in just one symbol, and that this could represent a whole star system that maybe I'm part of, that I'm not even aware I'm part of, that I don't even know the name of. We tend to because we're human and our minds can only expand so far, and this is why we want more expansion, is to recognize there's so much more than, and I don't want to diminish this in any means, but there's so much more of us that's made up of so much more than we even understand. And we as humans need to label it and categorize it, because that's how we function, and that's fine. But there's more than Lyrans, and there's more than Pleiadians, there's more than Syrians, there's more than Andromedans, there's more than Andorians. As we know, every time Jim channels, my God, like, I don't personally know anybody else who can just do that. So my admiration for him as a channel is beyond really words. But yet it was being with him and around him and being in Human Colony and with all of you guys that allowed me to open up these experiences. So I'm no different than anybody. It's just that I wanted it really bad. I wanted to know more and connect with more. And so all of that was instrumental. And the more I began to hang around everybody and then these friendships deepening throughout the years and it's sometimes hard for me to believe, how long we've known each other. But this is just linear. Again, the idea is to expand our understanding of linear life, of linear living, to understand that is an experience, but yet we are so much more than that. And I also want to see too, if people have questions, I don't want to just keep talking and talking. If people have questions about this stuff, please, feel free to ask. One of the things they wanted me to let you guys know too is that each one of these symbols for each of us, this is for each of us, is a connection to so many dimensions and the infiniteness of the souls and the souls and the souls and the information that's being funneled down through this information through these symbols can really contain, each one can contain different information for each of us. And this is another thing that they would like to reiterate here is it's also a collective often. So sometimes I can say, well, I can't just say, well, this is a symbol from this place, because there is a myriad of information coming through these that even I can't physically explain, but I know it. And I don't know how to even say how I know it, but it's like my cells know it. My body knows it. The water in me knows it. I don't even know how to explain that. But
so as we increase our vibration and increase our awareness, one of the things that becomes more apparent is the idea of the unity consciousness, and that we're all connected and we're really all part of the same thing. And we each hold our own perspective of all that is. And with these symbols, they represent a perspective of more of who we all are. And because we're all really connected, and certainly within this experience, everyone that's participating together is connected more closely. So sharing these symbols is offering a unique perspective of all of who we are together. And really part of the whole idea of having these experiences is learning more of who we are. And these allow opening portals, opening gateways to discover more of who we are. And they're offerings of frequencies and offerings of ideas. And when you look at Wendy's symbols, for instance, it is delivered to her. Sometimes it is for her use, sometimes it is for someone else's use. Sometimes she might receive a single symbol or a page of symbols that's really meant for someone else to see. Sometimes, it might be on a YouTube video, then we'll never know who saw it. Sometimes it's for a particular client.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. A lot of these I don't show because they're for clients. And I was just sort of guided, and I don't know, maybe it's just my own silly belief system, but for some reason, the ones I do specifically for clients, I don't share anywhere typically, in public. And I don't really know why, but I think it's because it's just for them. And so I respect that, so I do flick through these to see like what maybe, and a lot of times messages will come through and they'll tell me like what it is. Sometimes they don't,
Well, and the idea too is your imagination is your connection to infinite intelligence. So when you're looking at these symbols, or if you decide you want to draw your own symbols, whatever they might
yes,
be, use your own imagination.
I remember this one.
to discover what they mean for you. And
That's exactly right. Is they also wanted to, it's almost like they were showing me how we're reaching out to the cosmos and like sort of we all want to reach out and bring more information. And this is just one of the ways that infinite intelligence speaks to us.
And similarly to the idea of light language, where light language is really bypassing the human intelligence to bring divine information in without having to go through the belief systems and other filtration systems that we've built in as being human. The same thing goes with the symbols, where the information can be presented in a way that our brains are not creating filters and saying, oh, well, that looks like a triangle, or that
Yeah.
looks like, I mean, we do that naturally, but we're being activated by these symbolic representations of frequencies, as all
Yes.
things are energy and frequency.
I'm glad you said that too, about the different something told. So just now I had a vision, and it's funny because I'm looking at Susan's picture
Mhm.
kind of right now too. And all of a sudden I hear, as you're saying that, like this how I was thinking about the dragon energy all of a sudden, and light languages that come through. And this morning, and how all of a sudden it was like I could hear this like dragon energy coming through, but it's only in light language. It's like, and this happened to me again it happened to me again this morning, where all of a sudden I could hear this energy coming in, and it was like this really ancient Sumerian. And I told Dave, I said, but I'm not getting any English, like nothing. Like it was just and I keep putting my hand out because that's how they had me like reach out to them. It was like really weird. And I think maybe some of you go through this too, and I know Daniel Scranton, that happens to too, where it literally, I do get that, where I need to, sometimes I feel the wanting to reach out or hold my hand out or do a particular hand position, and it's I want to say it's involuntary, but it's almost like there's it's a way I can touch, we, not just me, how we can touch the energy in different ways. It's very difficult to explain, to put into words, but it was almost like that was the only way I could talk to them, as if I could do that. And it was like, and I saw this deeply painted face, markings. If you want to, Dave said Aboriginal, kind of a good explanation in that look. It was and I don't even know why I feel the need to put my hands out like that. Maybe it's his energy is so big that I'm like, okay, stand back. And then I got into drumming. Oh, that's what I wanted to say too. The drumming, chanting, musical instruments. I've got my maracas right here. I have.
Hello. Did we lose them? We lost them.
We must have lost them.
Do,
She goes-
do, 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 do.
We'll be back. We'll be back. That's funny. You start talking about musical instruments and all of a sudden they're gone.
We didn't lose them. They just went to a different realm for just a timeout for a second.
That's right. That's
Right.
right.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for them to come back,
Yes.
Maybe Wendy could do some light language. Wendy Napolitano.
Well, I mean, sure, she can if she wants to. Wendy, would you like to do some light language? I don't think she's there.
She might be busy.
So why not you then, Susan?
Yeah, I could call in my
Well-
dragons and do some dragon light language.
Sure, and I think when they come back, because the whole point of having them back was so that other people could do their light languages and we could work together and on that. So when we come back, I think we'll try to direct the webinar in that way. But if you want to go ahead and do your light language, that would be fantastic. You can turn on
Okay.
your camera.
Yeah,
Okay.
since she was talking about the dragons, I'll call in my
Yeah.
dragons,
Okay.
my dragon
Great.
guides.
And would you be able to interpret
If I must, it will be my pleasure.
I mean, I don't
Alright.
know if it's, it may or may not be an interpreted, there may not be message, it might just be the activation, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
That's what I'm getting, that we don't need the translation. That
Yeah.
Susan's
Okay.
on it.
Kind of why I
Alright.
just said that, I think, because I got
No
that too.
pressure,
Okay,
Susan.
go ahead, Susan.
All right. Kia su kia hia si kaya tua, hia sia kua, hia si kia tukua itia, hia sia kua, hia si kia tua, hia si kia tu, ha sia kua, hia si kia yo tua, hia sia yo tua, hia tia ya tukua, hia si kia tua, hi tia i kua, hia si ku, hia tia hia, ta yo tua hita, Hia sia koa I tia hutua ya I sikieta ya tuya ia sikitia. That was in honor of the Galactic Dragon Collective.
Tura atakrishkari ika tura ahasaye. Chatkitia rata arhana asihe. Atutu uruhurahata.
Okay, thank you. Ooh, Wendy can't access her microphone, so I guess that's not going to be a possibility. And here comes Christine. I haven't seen Christine in a while. Welcome, Christine. So Will. Oh, Will,
So Krishna Priya,
I can't hear. For some reason, I can't hear you. You're muted.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Hi,
Okay.
Chris. Thank you. So, Will, when we were talking last week, and we had a lot of questions, and this is why I bring it up, is people were asking if you were talking about using the codes, whether they're light language codes or light codes or anything like that. How do people do that? How do people use the codes if they don't even know their codes that are there?
So it's a trick question.
No.
No, it is. It is. It's a trick question, meaning
Okay.
that your curiosity about the codes is enough to activate them. Your curiosity, your interest in them is enough to trigger what you need in this now from it. There's intention in the code, and if somebody's writing the code, there's intention also in it, but each person's going to get what they need from the code. They're back.
So basically, in the light codes can be just a sunbeam, and within the sunbeam is imbued light codes. I think that what the person was saying is, I'm not seeing these codes. How do I know that there's even codes? Like, where are they? How do I get them? Are they written numbers? Are they symbols? Are they just energetic frequencies? Probably all of the above. And they didn't understand the code. Like you were talking about light codes, but also if you have language codes, what are the codes? And it's the same question I think would apply to the light language symbolism that's written. Is that a code? Is that a word? Is it a,
So Wendy has those answers.
you just
And now that Wendy is back, And
Although I did.
and,
No,
and last
let's-
week, they weren't asking me, they were asking, was it Helios last week?
Yes.
Okay, they were
Helios.
asking Helios last week. So he was talking about the light codes from his perspective. And
That's true. That's right.
so let's turn it back over to Wendy, because
Yeah.
she's the star of the show today, right now, and she's back. So
And
Thank
it's
you.
funny, you guys, because we don't really have any way to categorize, I want to say label maybe, or, you know, so when I started making videos out in the woods and they were talking, my guides were saying, you know, we are the emissaries of the Light Collective. This is something that you have come to do to raise the vibration and help people ascend, all that stuff. But they also talked about light codes in the way that we talked a little bit about in the last webinar, was about light codes. The sun, the information, the sun is our star. We as a consciousness and as a collective consciousness created our solar system. So we are in constant connection with our sun. The way the sun does the things that it does in nature does something to us. I think we can all agree to that. Whether we understand what it is or how it is, I think is really not the point. I think the point is that it does something to us. The first thing our ET guides tell us, if you want to connect to your higher self, go out in nature. You want to connect to your ET guides? You want to connect to the ships? Go in nature. That's the first thing they tell you. Interact with nature and you will find you. You will find, when you start to look at nature, you start to understand what you're made of. You start to understand the vastness and the intricacies and the cycles, and you begin to truly appreciate and value your own beingness and your ability to connect to this stuff. And that's what started to happen, was they started talking about light codes, about the sun and the moon. And then I started to learn about, through other channels and Bashar, and how the connections of the sun and the moon and Earth and Sirius have a triangular connection, a trinary consciousness that we are a part of. And I was like, well, how does that happen? Like, how do I get in tune with that consciousness? How do I take that trinary consciousness of the Earth and Sirius and Sasani, and how do I tap into that? And that started a whole nother journey for me with the sacred circuits. And then I started getting more downloads of these things. So it's kind of like we use the words light codes sort of synonymously, because I think we don't know how else to describe it, to be honest with you. So I'm like, well, that's how they presented them to me as well. Galactic glyphs, sacred circuitry. They were explaining how so many of these things are literally, that's why they call it, and I don't know if sacred, I think sacred is just a way for us to understand that it is something very special and powerful, but it's something that's heart driven. I think that we use, that we're given.
Oh no. Stay with us. Okay. I think they're frozen in time in a light code. So does anyone else have any questions about this? I think it's very interesting. So one of the things I'd like to know from Wendy is, how does she use her light codes? Does she just, is it in the, or her, I like what she said, glyphs, sacred glyphs, or does she just stare at them when she's activating them? Is it just in the process of writing them that she gets the information? I'd be interested to know how that is utilized. Let's see if there's any questions in the YouTube chat. Is there any questions in YouTube chat, Ange?
Well, this is Annie. I had a session with her and with Wendy, and it was neat. The codes actually speak to me in so many different ways, but she recommended anything, like take them with you in your car, put them up someplace, recopy them. I mean, there's just so many different ways, but I don't think we need to know that, because I think the codes are speaking to us in such a way that we'll know what to do.
The reason I'm asking is because it was a question that several people had last week, and they were very confused with talk of codes, and they wanted to know what to look for, how to experience them. So it'd be interesting to know how different people are using them, and then they can try it themselves, you know. So how did you work with them?
I want to work with them more, because she sent them to me on Messenger, and it's been a little bit of a trip because I'm so busy to get them to a place where I can start working with them, because I do want to start copying them into a journal. I do want to even sing to them. I mean, anything. It's like that. And the connection I have with Wendy is so strong that I know, like, it's almost like we speak to each other because of the code she's given me too. So they're just so quantum in their nature for me, that they change every day, and how I approach them, I guess, is what I would say.
Right. So have you ever downloaded your own codes? Has it always been codes that you've been, gifted or have been downloaded for you?
Myself codes I did way long time ago, but I haven't had anything like that coming. I believe that time is coming now, because I'm so drawn to Hucolo and to Wendy and everything. It just feels like everything's kind of aligning to that, as well as I'm taking a mentorship about voice and sound. So all of those are kind of coming together. So, but I got them forever and used to write them, but I had no clue way back when. I had no clue what they meant. So I never did anything with them. I almost like refuted them, because I was going at it from a linear perspective, but it was seriously like 20 years ago. So.
Oh, wow. Great. Interesting. Okay, well, they're rebooting their router, so they'll be back in just a second. What are you showing us, Braden?
Sorry, it is a light language code of a Bufo toad, Bufo alvarez toad.
Did you design it?
No, a friend of my dad's who lives in Australia did.
You only got it through light language.
Yep, and they seen it in their third eye, and then they designed it.
Very cool. And what's the symbolism of it's a frog.
Yep, and this is a skull made out of holy wood in Africa. It's got motivite on the back.
Cool. And do you wear it? Do you wear the frog, or do you just stare at it?
Yes, I wear both of them. I wear both of them.
Is anyone else working with codes or light languages that they'd like to share? Wendy, are you able to talk now? I'm asking her to unmute. No.
I've had several codes, and light codes come, and it's just like a download of information, and it's just like, I didn't know that, and I'm like, wow, that I did not know that before these codes came in. So I will get different codes that gives me download of information.
Yeah, I had to mute Braden. He's moving around. So in what way are the codes manifesting to you? Is it through light? Is it through sound? Is it through
a third eye vision, and then just information is there that I didn't have earlier.
So kind of a download.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So while we're what are you showing us now? Great. Is that's just a crystal? That's a crystal, not just a crystal, that's a crystal. Okay. Angie, why don't you tell us a little bit, Susan can't talk, Wendy can't talk. Why don't you tell us a little bit again about the retreat coming up, just as we're filling time waiting for them to come back.
All right, so Will and Jim and I went to the park, and we walked Ananda Park, and we walked around, and was like, the energy was there, was like, this is it, this is the place. You know, we are hopeful that we're going to get everybody into the main cabin, but there are other cabins that if you wanted to purchase, there are individual cabins that you can rent as well. But excuse me, we're hoping to just house everyone in the main cabin so we're all together. Energy stays there. Say that again.
Sleep all together in one cabin?
It holds 42 people.
Wow.
All in
No
one.
stores.
Well, it's they're broken down into rooms, individual
Okay.
rooms. Like there's like,
That would be really cool.
yeah. And so it's about oneness. It's about gathering, like Wendy was just like talking earlier. This is a time to get your activations. This is a time to meet your Starseed family. This is about oneness. The society right now, our society is so broken, so separated, that bringing everyone together, bringing that oneness, bringing that understanding of where there are all like-minded people. So that's the majority of what this is. Yes, there is going to be a couple classes, but the majority of it is, you know, Starseed families, oneness, a couple classes, and then just fellowship with each other. I say fellowship, but it's really just connecting, making that connection, meeting new friends, meeting new people. Just like Wendy really, really emphasized, it jump-started her to where she is. And so this retreat, yes, this retreat, it's when she says, you know, that this was what really jump-started her. She did have some other, you know, stuff, you know, activations and things like that prior to that. But this retreat that we went to in Hot Springs really gave her the jump start that she needed. And so that's what we're hoping this retreat will do for people as well.
Perfect. So they can learn about it at hucolo.org, correct?
Yes, yes.
Let's
And I
get
did
back
put
to
it in,
Wendy.
I did put it in the
Let's-
chat.
Let's
So,
get back to Wendy.
Awesome,
Okay.
Angie.
thanks.
Thank you, Angie,
Awesome.
for-
Thank you guys. Hey, and I couldn't hear anything you guys were saying because we had no internet for those couple of minutes. So I came into
And
my
we were-
phone.
We were
So
just
now I'm
talking
on my
about,
phone.
we were talking with Annie about the light codes that she's gotten from you and how I asked her how she was working with them, and she had said in many different ways, and gave some suggestions of how different people.
Oh, good. I'm excited to go to rewind it and look back at that. You know, it's really funny too, you guys. What did you ask me for this symbol? How did that happen?
No, you drew it and said use it
I thought you
for my
were
birthday.
for your, okay. So, I drew it and said to use it for your birthday. I thought you were asking anyway. I thought he asked me to make him a symbol anyway. So something about manifestation or something. There was like this conversation about making a symbol about fast manifestation or something. And so I got this symbol in my head. Wait, now I'm on my phone. So I have anyway. So I drew this symbol because and all of a sudden I felt like this mass amount of movement of energy. And it was like something about the fast manifestation. And the interesting part about this is that I drew this, as he said, the day before his birthday in 2019, which was a month after we met in person at the light language event. And 8, 9, 10, 11, unbeknownst to me, and I swear to God, unbeknownst to me, in August, by November, I had moved in with him. It was like, don't even know what that happened and how all of that happened, but it
made
did.
you do your own voodoo.
It was like weird as hell. So even I, to this day, I just came across this a few minutes ago in the book, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. And that's really weird, you guys. And so,
And
and
I don't think you knew it was my birthday when you
I'm not even
made it.
sure I did I?
Yeah,
I
don't
might have,
think so, but
maybe.
you just said I was guided to draw this, give it to you, and and you said and you were told that I should use it immediately.
And it was an,
So I used
and,
this for my birthday wish.
and then he wrote this entire, like, what would you call that? Intention or prayer? Or so he wrote out this whole intention thing and printed it out on the computer with this as the background, like as a watermark.
Mhm.
I don't know what to tell you guys, because I was married for 39 years. And then I don't know what happened, but
Okay. The fire.
yeah. So, oh, you did. And then and then you burnt it in the fire. It was beautiful. If I could read it to you guys, I would. It was just, and I was like, I need to meet this person. I mean, know this person, whatever. So anyway, that's what happened. This one came through a short time after that. I'm sorry, I'm getting weird. Sometimes they'll say to me, like this one says, the master class, moving master keys into 2020. Now, this I drew in September of 2019. So the master class, moving master keys into 2020. And then they said these were transportational and transformational transmissions. I'm like, oh, okay. So this one I did, and they interpreted it as pure possibilities. I know I'm crooked. Sorry, you guys. I'm on my phone and I'm kind of weirded out right now. So some people have asked me, I want a tattoo. Can you tell me the meaning of one of your symbols so I can use one of your symbols as a tattoo? Now, while that's extremely flattering, I don't know that I would be comfortable doing that because I can't give a person the meaning. But what I would say to them is, if it reaches out and grabs you, it's a part of you, or it's a message for you, or it's a transmission for you, it's part of your journey, then I would say absolutely don't hesitate to use it, because each of these symbols are presented to us to give each and every one of us, as Dave said, permission to become more of who we are, to understand our connections to all of these other star systems. Seeds we are indeed, and we carry the seeds of the infinite that we can't even imagine. And so it's almost like that's sort of how I feel. Like I'm getting goosebumps right now. It's sort of how I feel, like these are sort of seeds that are popping open for us, showing us like, and it's almost like each time we see it, it opens up a different library. A lot of times they've explained these symbols as libraries. They've said, this is an entire library of our ascension process. And we want you, just by looking at it or redrawing it, touching them, they said to, draw them out with your finger, just retrace them with your finger. Just doing that has some kind of a physiological, reprogramming effect. I can't explain it necessarily, but it's energy. We're energy. Everything is energy. These are little libraries. Yes, Annie, these are little libraries. That just gave me even goosier bumps. I'm not kidding. This is how we all know, you guys. The goosebumps are indicative of you're hitting the chord. You're hitting that inner chord that rings some kind of truth for you. Some kind of truth. Maybe that truth will change tomorrow. That's fine, because you're going to be new tomorrow. That's another thing about these codes. When we begin to understand quantum physics in a higher dimensional way, and this is what these codes help us do, understand higher consciousness awareness, we can unpack these little libraries, and every time, every moment, we're new. We are traveling through multiple universes and parallel realities billions of times per second. Per second. We can't even imagine that, you guys. So being with that said, every single time we look at this, we're new. It's new. And even if a parallel reality is very, very similar, which is what which is exactly what we experience as humans in a linearity, it's just an experience process. We can already do all of those woo-woo things everywhere else in our sleep and our, it's who we actually are. Yet these symbols help us understand our connectedness to the quantumness. Quantum, what do we understand as quantum? I guess in a nutshell, as an unscientific, what we do here affects. This is the reminder just went off that it's 11:11 here, and I saw 11:11 or for you guys too, 11:11. So same thing, same thing, you guys. 11:11. It's our universal wake-up code that we've all agreed somehow on a quantum level that 11:11 is going to be a shared kind of thing, wake-up code for all of us, an alarm clock. These are also alarm clocks to wake us up to who we really are. And you're not going to see them or even let them become your awareness until it's your time to open and unlock that little part of your master key, because we're all masters. So these are little master keys to open up you and all your master doors. And they're not exclusive to anyone, and they're to be shared. They're for everybody. They're for humanity. They're not. What their power lies in us. That's the beauty of it. Their power lies in us and how we experience it. Just like a flower or a tree or anything else, a dog, a cat, of anything has an experience because of how we interact with it. Everything has a different experience quantumly. Quantum means what happens here affects, there's no barrier to quantum healing, right? We know that now. Quantum healing is what I do here affects something far, far away, and there's no barrier because it's all connected.
Well, there's actually no far, far away. Everything is here now.
Right.
You're really just connecting to everything at every moment. And it's sort of funny, as we've created a new reality by connecting her together and sharing all this, the computer decided to align more with the new reality, that it downloaded an update and a Windows update.
Oh God.
And that's what happened. The computer was literally
it was trying
wanting to do an update.
So I told Dave, I said, I'm just going to go in on my phone, even though it's kind of wonky. I was like, well, I'll just go in on my phone because at least I don't have to worry about the computer. So
we have backups and backups.
Well, yeah. So anyway, sorry about the delay. Anyway, does anybody have anything to say? Do you guys have anything you want to interject, or experiences or comments or light languages or anything? Thank you, Susan, by the way, for that light language. That's it.
I have a comment.
Oh, please.
So I'm just kind of curious, Wendy. When are you going to stop talking about it? When are you going to start bringing it?
No, it's kind of funny because I take for granted that people actually want to hear it. So Alondo ngoyata bishimuti shana shaporonke tibisoporiveshano tu avezo zu jamigenki tabayana maleva soporivishano morikala kutibisoporifsono sumashe and ate. And I just want to say, for anybody who hasn't already heard this story 100 times, that was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life ever, was to witness Katie and several of our other friends walk out onto the lake at the pier at the Beyond Belief retreat and say, we are going to go speak light languages. And so she did. And with that I'm telling you what, with that intentional manifestation, that was an experience. And again, I will mention it because it bears mentioning that at all of these retreats, that's another thing that happens, you guys, is that if you've got something that wants to come out, maybe that might be the place. And oh my God, it was one, I was like a teary-eyed mommy.
We activate each other.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
can I try speaking some light language?
please.
I've never spoke light language publicly.
That's what this is about.
Ushna kalake na snura kalare kolake. Snena la kina na kina na ushna kalare la kina kala. Una la just de la snar roko na
O no te shehana ke ke ara ko hana ta in to be hano ka biano mi ato bikuwa yesha mi ikuahi nei sipa sumoyu ko yami ima hayanta. It's an honor to reconnect with you, my star brother. Ki ato benya ki ato beshin to pisha. Puri ke ata bisima samashani ki. The hearts of many have just ignited. Sending this beautiful surge of love. Can you all feel it? I'm all tingly again. This is exactly what happened to me, you guys. In a live event just like this in Hucolo. It just came out. Thank you. Would you like to share some more?
Sure. Does anyone have a translation?
I actually feel your higher self coming through in kind of pushing you out into the spotlight. Like, thank you for sharing another part of yourself. Wendy, did you have something to share?
I instantly recognized it as dragon light language, and he wanted to let you know that his presence is with you. So it was when we came back from Scotland, I had so much energy, and not just me, but obviously the people that went with me, Susan, Joan, and my husband. And I literally was like shaking physically, grounding in codes. And then the last healing group that we did, everyone was saying that, oh my God, the energy is so high. So I imagine that some of those energies are like with the people that are joined with you, like with the combined, just like you said, the combined energy between Hucolo and your work and light codes, that's definitely opportunity for people to be activated. I know I've had that experience, but they've been giving me light language too to join, if I may. Happy to contribute.
Absolutely. Yes. And I know, I think
yes,
someone
please.
else, Annie, wanted to share afterward, I think.
Beautiful.
Yes, please join.
We are bringing many of those who are willing to listen with their hearts, opening their dragon hearts to their ancient language, which all is known in the now. As you are reawakening and awakening your hearts to be open to what you already have within you, these gifts will show and present themselves. We as a collective are singing our song. We welcome you with open hearts, with our dragon hearts and dragon magic. We are so happy to have you in the fold, in the realm, in the fold once more. Blessings.
What I see in my third eye when you said that, I don't know why, but I seen the symbol for a pawn shop, the upside down, looks like a upside down cross, but it's bent in 3 circles.
The Ankh? An Ankh? Is that what you mean?
No, it's not an Ankh. Through a pawn shop. this symbol for a pawn shop.
I'm not familiar with that. It's
So,
probably a
Andy,
symbol for
Okay.
you.
Wendy, what was your interpretation of that with Wendy? I got a lot of old world energy.
Same thing with me. Very almost hard to explain.
Well, I mean, I think it's like a reunion
Yes,
happening.
yes.
And
That will definitely that for sure.
And Wendy and I have talked about this often about, you know, what's the meaning of life kind of question. And it's really all about the sharing and coming together in groups. And, you know, it's great to listen to other people speak light language, and there's always activations and learning more about yourself. But when we come together collectively and speak light languages together and activate each other and participate, and sometimes we might know what it means and sometimes we might not, from a collective earth concept where we're all over the planet connecting and making literal energetic connections of these high energy things in multi-dimensional, multi-universe because there's only now, these activations are happening in all space and time, in all realities, and we can have those intentions for it to be that way, but it's happening.
But it's
anyway.
it's like that's all I've been hearing all day too, is about the quantumness of this and how that it is just reaches it is
and the galactic presence that is attracted to these things.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Is really beyond our understanding.
It's as if they're so excited that you reached out to talk that they, and I say they, it's like they're right here. Like I could feel them in the room. Like, and it's so funny how it's like sometimes they're here and sometimes they're back here. It's a little hard to, I think Jim's talked about that, where sometimes the energies and entities come in from different places. You feel it in different ways. So it feels very ancient, very like soul, like many soul over soul over soul over soul over soul connections. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's
Even got like Beowulf energy, you know, like that kind of ancient.
very
interesting.
deep, very deep.
And
Dave pulled the wolf card today. Dave pulled the wolf card. I forgot about that. The Earth Magic. He says, "Oh, let's pull a card." So he pulled a card, and it was the wolf card. And just for the record, you guys too, my name is Wendy Wolfe, but we are married. I just haven't changed my name legally yet. So I kind of I still go by Wendy Wolfe and then add Yelen at the end. But
someone on the
so just to clarify, yes, we're married. I just haven't changed my name yet legally. So I'm Wendy Wolfe all over the internet.
Someone on YouTube commented about feeling better with their neck after hearing the light language. And you know,
how could we
the light language
forget about
the
that?
light language is a high energetic frequency state, and healing is really just being about being in that state.
Oh my God,
and that
of course.
allows the healing to occur. We were watching something.
The med bed. That's, I was just going to say, I knew you were going to say that, because really we were talking about the med bed thing, and
you don't need a med bed.
Really the answer that he and I were sort of getting downloaded at that moment when we were listening to this advertisement for this med bed thing was, you know, all you need to be is in that state. And I don't mean the med bed is a perfect permission slip idea for us to get where we need to get. Don't get me wrong there. If it works, use it. I will.
Well, if you're here watching this, you are not the average person who needs to go to a healing facility to heal. You're all
You
healers.
just
already.
proved that right here. And that's where I wanted to jump on that statement, because I also, when I'm in these hangouts, no matter how tired I am, no matter what's wrong, no matter what's going on in my outside world, my inside world, it's all gone when I come and do this and share light languages and be around all these codes and all of you guys and sharing all of this. I'm telling you the same thing. My back was killing me. Now that you just said that, I'm telling you, I am right now in a vibrational state of being where I am in absolutely no pain, none. Like, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Thank you. And I'm
That's
and
perfect. Why don't we let Annie share her light language now?
Okay.
She'd like to do hers. Go ahead, Annie. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I got to go to a Starseed reunion in the mountains last August. I'm just so sad that we have to wait till 2024 for that. But and it was absolutely exquisite. There were about 100 people there, and it was just so nice to be in that resonance. Now, stepping that up here today, I'm like floating in the ceiling, I think. So it's just so darn cool. All right, with that, I'm gonna see who's gonna show up, because there's been so much ancient energy in today. Dushtam Bhagavatashi Banawukan Dawai Tashtandu Adagum Parayimanukuha Tanawash tu Pakandu Wayanamanaka Watayi Undashtu Alala Bamba Watakandashi Manu Manakash tu Kamba Watayi Shikambawa Lutikamba Toshu Ashtu Kamba Watakan Dan Manayan Katashu Wataku. Don't know what it means.
Oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you for being here today. Thank you always for all your love and support. I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you, Annie. No toshia moto inkia. So notea. Again, we meet. I go to veso moto inkia shainge ana ito vesimuni kia bishan po inke sipushuno unkoya ise. And I wanted to say just that light language brought Annie and I together, and my heart is just boom, boom, boom. Katovesa moshotinki ishana supasomo to veshe inki. Tavisomori ishani kela vesopori veshana kalianta vikiki. Saveshe sima. And yes, it is in the sharing. It is about the sharing, no matter what it is. Sharing you, your authentic you. Gondonde shanata. And each and every one of you is perfect and beautiful and has your own unique version of you. There is only you, your version of you, and it is perfect. No gonde shengea shasabeshe somote kendaiva sobeshe nate shanoi evahayana kamvasha namine atavikilo kaishabose natea shanumayava kutavia sabore veshono. It is not about doing it the way someone else does it. It is about doing it your way. That's what activation is all about. Activating the you that you already are. Reminding yourself. It's sort of like just unlocking a door to a mirror. Oh my God, that's me. I had no idea there was so many parts of me. Oh my God, and they're all so beautiful. No matter where they come from, they're beautiful because they're me. And how we have met on so many other they're like showing me, the dimensions and in between the dimensions, and we don't even know I barely even are scratching the surface of understanding what's inside your seed. It's like they're showing me that dandelion. Yeah, so you can see how passionate I get. So much. And we have not had the opportunity to really do a lot of this live stuff. And we do it a lot on my on Languages of Lights, but we haven't. We've been so earth focused. No boya shenete. So it feels so good for me too to just let myself speak too.
Well, I'm also sort of hearing about the idea that in this earth experience and the ascension idea and learning more of who we are, the relevance of information is still really presenting things that are relevant. And there is the relevant things are so minuscule in comparison to the whole versions of us that we're just not going to get a picture of all the other things that we're involved in consciously in other universes and multiverses. And
we would be pretty distracted, wouldn't we?
what's that guy that's like a squirrel?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
shiny thing. Well, it's kind of how we all are when we wake up, right? We're like, sometimes it's hard to do normal stuff.
So, I mean, we can imagine, being a rock, being a tree, being a bird, being a cloud, even alien kind of things. But there's so much of us at so many different levels, like dragon energies, and as ourselves in a dragon consciousness, all the things that they would experience that we can't even imagine from the dragon perspective of different realities that they're participating in and they're learning and seeing and observing.
And the stories of that, you guys, as he's saying it, I'm hearing them say, and the stories of those experiences are embedded in the light language. So when we're speaking these light languages, we're not only experiencing what they're experiencing, we're sharing that experience with everybody we're sharing that light language with, even if we don't know what hit us.
The idea of densifying to the point and creating this earth experience that we're all participating in, that was built from all of these other experiences that we cannot even imagine of being in universes where, like Bashar had talked about, certain universes that he's discovered, where instead of living on a planet, they're living in the inside portion of the outer bubble of reality, where gravity works backwards, and you don't breathe air, you breathe some other thing, and we can't even
imagine those things, really. But that's part of the experiences that are conveyed, that they've said are conveyed also in the light codes.
Some consciousnesses just think it's the craziest thing in the world that we're living on a ball that's rotating and spinning around other balls, and all of this is happening. We're moving, thousands of miles an hour all the time, spinning it,
and we don't even feel it.
How could that even be? And that's crazy. So,
well, and we talk about ancients, and I've heard a lot of, I've been feeling of, as many of you today, this what we feel is ancient language, and I think an ancient energy. And yet, what I'm hearing also is that you're new and you're ancient all at the same time. Each and every one of us has what we would conceive or perceive as ancient, old, because there's a part of us that exists since time. I don't even want to say time began, but since light became something other than light, when light became a new type of energy, when light became language, that gets into a whole other thing that we love to explore also on my channel, is about the idea of when light became sound, when light became language, when light, and so we are experiencing together, when we're sharing this in these whatever sounds, tones, singing, writings, just energy from our hearts and our hands.
And I do want to remind
Reiki?
everyone that light language does come in forms that are not just sort of
Exactly.
understandable language.
Right.
There's toning.
Like the
there's-
Hathors, many of us know that the Hathors will put out a tone, talk about a library of information coming through in just a tone.
So, you know, those of you who have not started speaking light language that are listening to this, if you feel a, a calling to just make noises, don't be afraid to just sit alone if you want to make whatever noises come out.
And color too. You know, I was reminded, I got my markers here. Color too, when many of you who may have watched some of my videos, or color is also a language. I think we all understand that. Our chakras, they're colors, right? It's a language, it's an energy. When you ask yourself during the day, what color should I wear? Ask your guides, what color should I wear? I was thinking as Dave was talking about that, I was seeing a blue energy, the throat chakra energy, the, you know, the third eye energy, and how when it connects and when we connect our heart, how we then connect those colors when we immerse ourselves in those colors. So for example, if you want to, I want to speak more light language, and you just say that, it's like, okay, that's my intention. Then immerse yourself in those colors, the blue of the throat, you know, and as they're suggesting, the connection of the imagination, the third eye, the green of the heart chakra, being in nature, talking to nature, talking to the flowers. It literally has a manifestational response, because we've all decided collectively that that is what would happen, what would work for us. So when I work with a client, that's the first thing I do in the, you know, when I'm getting ready, what color do they need today? What color do I need to convey for them? What do they need to work on today? And I will tell you every time without fail, it's always right, because it's because we're connected to each other. We're all connected.
And I do want to mention also that we do have private meetups on Thursday nights now, if anyone is interested.
Yes.
Also
and we're opening more of those events.
Lights.com website, where we do this, but we hang out privately. So
that it's not broadcast on
not
YouTube, in
broadcast.
case people are feeling a little weird about doing it online and stuff, and it's not even recorded.
We have it scheduled for right now on Thursdays. And sometimes nobody shows up, nobody wants to sign
that's
up to
fine.
be on. We've been trying to make ourselves available, because sometimes people want to just hang out and not be on YouTube, and not,
right,
you know, and that way they don't have to
or just
worry.
ask personal
They could be on
questions.
video, but just private.
Right. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because I forget about this stuff. We have all these, we plan all these events and we do live stuff, and I'm not very good at, like, you know, marketing myself. So I'm just like, you know, I just kind of put it out there. But I also feel that energetically, I think we all understand, and Dave and I are true proponents of, is that those who need to gather will gather when they need to. And we just trust that the universe will bring us all together when it's appropriate and how it's appropriate. So, and today's one of those days. Yeah, how we doing on time? Is there anything else that somebody would like to share? No,
I think Wendy said she had a little more that she wanted to. Is that right, Aunt Wendy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Wendy. I like the duality of them. So before you got yanked off with your internet wanting to join in the high vibration, you were talking about sound. In last year, at 2 years ago, 6/21/21, this was the code that I had written. And what it reads, so 2 years ago, but what it reads, because I'll get the image and then I'll get words sometimes afterwards. And it says, the well of light, the well of life, connect with color and sound vibrations. This will help you find the dimensions in which to reach the higher aspects of yourself. Play, have fun, laugh, and bliss.
Oh my God. Look at this, Wendy.
Isn't that crazy?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I didn't even know when I drew this. That's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because as we watch things on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, a lot of times we'll see reflections of the things that we've been thinking of.
It's so weird.
Or, Wendy will, hear messages about, Pleiadian things or whatever it might be.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, other people are getting those same
It's
messages.
so weird.
And it's really cool that collectively,
That's bizarre.
being open to these frequencies that a lot of us receive these messages together because
Yeah.
it's really meant for us to share.
Because it's out here in the
Everything.
quantum.
Did you have
Yeah.
light language you wanted to share as well? Or
Yeah,
something?
let's chitty chat.
Okay.
And yeah,
All right. I
it's
like
rara.
that.
Ishijuarara, pahira te kia narata, ishijuanara kaita tahira, pahonoro te itigrira narata, itutuira narata, iru.
Ikitia sama sama kia nama seperti kia sama sebuah ko ada kia se sebedoni ki sama sebora susana ki linto ki ya sama se I know they are getting into that se pushing kiana.
I feel like
It's like I hear, oh, it's so fun to do this in this way when we're also doing it in other ways and in dreams and
Yeah.
I dream about all of you guys all the time. Everybody.
that happens to me. They show up in my dreams, or they'll pop up as an image, like a photo. It'll be like, boop, and then it'll disappear.
It's fun to hear other people's I like to hear other people's experiences too, because it makes me feel not quite so weird and crazy.
Right? Susan will often do this conversational light language with us too. I don't know if you want to invite everybody else to kind of just hop on and.
Sure, I'll have a station.
Tia sukoia, titaia sikatahia, kototea, ya sikahiu, sikatito kua, ya sikitia hitio, hazia kuhithia, ya sky kukua, ya sikitito doya, ya sikita, itukuya. He sikutuya iti, tia tukutuya, isikiti, kutuya iti, husika hietu kutuya, ya sukoya, ya sikutia, itia, sukutuya titi, husika hia, ya sikutaya, titia, kutuya. I think that was a little gnome and baby dragon language coming in.
Oh God, I always feel such elemental energy around you. Like every single time, I'm like, like we're just frolicking through the meadow. Oh, we pulled the meadow card today too. What a good message that was. Look what they so much.
Escala Canaro Colosila. Ooh, na.
Look at you now, fluent. So
And it's sort of funny because I hear the light language that you're speaking, and it reminds me very much of oftentimes when I'm speaking it.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like surprising to me how it's coming out, and
maybe you activated him.
Just letting go of any expectations that I might have, or how it might sound, or what might come out. And typically it's sort of the same kind of light language, sort of like I found the sweet spot, maybe I want to say. But sometimes I get completely unusual different things. I like to tua ne u ane tua ana tu and sometimes I could do this all day.
Oliana to akoshe ayanaya hayatu anyalo kosha anyalo akoto veshena ananaki no mialo akasabe no yaha amiano ashela ma to yuku mesete ano ya koiberiano de shubai koyana chikiato Sivishaya Shaya Shaya Opohaya Shashtiana Shishichiamako. It's like I hear them say, you guys are all able to reaching out, to touch anything you want to touch. Goyisha Bashano Devishi, so Bashanokiani, Diana Kiata, Yaya Shanake, sharing in the bliss of creation. I don't even know how to put it into words.
Where's Will and Katie?
Hey, Will, come on.
Wake up.
Haraka inoro tu ire tishijuara tahira mahe tata tu ire da tahira. Inoro tu ire tahira gore ni shijuara. Ata tu ire ma tahira na tahira.
I know, I was just going to say the same thing. Where's Will and Katie?
It varies.
Niato que kia sapashanite, kia sapashanitea. Siavesonotea kaya, mayuko. Tabe que sopadopotono, eleteva, somosofa, shato kuyandobe kupa. Yone kia lisese, condobe sopoto unkuya, lase, tabiando pokunti, dono, izavianda gilando visopodovasa, te anda ki, kategi sopodovashana ki, Yaniki, Savisono, Givala, Lazovashanite. It's like I feel like raise your heart, share or shine your sun, show your sacred self, create that being within you, or be the being within you that you wish to create, or allow the being that's already the fire inside of you to burn brightly. How to put it into words?
Ranaza Rakana, Razana Rakana, Rusana Rakana, Isnana, Zirokala, Una, Sakazu, Uza,
Uzaka. Oh, you know, I was looking down at this symbol and I drew this symbol a really long time ago, and they said to me, this is what we feel is a representation of self-empowerment. So I always use this symbol as a symbol of self. Oh,
Like
okay.
Like
I don't believe you turned to that page, because that's the page I've been wanting to type out. That is so weird. So I realized how similar it was to the symbol, with the arms reaching out, the self-empowerment, how similar it was to Wendy's symbol about, that's what this is about, you guys.
Can I speak some light language for that symbol?
Oh, yes, please, go right ahead.
Sina Lena, Hurshana Kana, Sina Rakana, Sinatun, Sinaturn, Sinarka, Sina. Une Sina, Shusa, Zika, Sisa, Zuza, Luna, Karamouth, and the letters of the Rodos and Calarocon.
Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. Oh my God.
See, we activate each other.
Dang. You guys, okay. This is what I received, and I'm going to read it really quick. I got this download about these sacred circuits. I don't believe this. Look at that.
So this is a shirt that Wendy made with one of her light language code designs back in 2021 when we went to Mount Shasta. So I thought I'd share it.
Oh my God, Wendy, and you know whose else symbol that looks like? Do you know who Bridget Nielsen is?
No, I don't.
Oh my God, this is the weirdest thing. Bridget Nielsen was also tapping into the sacred circuits from Sirius, and she drew a symbol very similar to what you drew. That just freaked me out. See how similar when we all tap into the similar streams of consciousness, how we pick up some of the same stuff through through that stream. That's what all of infinite intelligence is just us picking and choosing what we want to play with in this moment. Thank you, God. Thank you for sharing that. That was such a confirmation for me and for you guys too, that a lot of serious energy in that, meaning dolphin, whale, Lemurian. I mean, the list goes on, the water collective, it goes on, the cetacean nation. All of that was tied into her interpretation of those symbols. And as many of us know, part of the Sirius star system is aquatic beings. So that helps all of us today connect to that energy, connect to them. The information I received was use these sacred circuitry symbols as a new way to interact with your higher mind, your multiverse, the parallel versions of yourselves, the crystalline structures of your consciousness, the multidimensional you. It's the ride. The ride is the destination. The only destination, destiny is your destination, is to listen to your language. You created it. Destiny, your destiny. It's not about what you're destined to be. It's about discovering all the ever-changing, ever-evolving you that you are.
You still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We hear
Okay.
you.
We hear you.
It's all about discovering the ever-changing, ever-evolving you that you already are as you become more the echo of and Sirius star system collective consciousness. That's who is coming through. Echo is a collective consciousness being between me and Sasani and Sirius, but Echo is a very it's a version of the Sasani that's way in their future that talks through me.
So let me interrupt for just a second, because you guys are now just sort of hitting a stride. We've got about 8 minutes left, which is what happened last time. No, so the question is, if you want to continue to share light languages and go back and forth, I think that's beautiful, and I think that's a fun language gym to do. I have to bow out right at the thing.
No, that's fine. And actually, I was just gonna finish this, and then
I can't, you guys are just now starting to like actually play with each other. So I don't want to, cut that off, but we've got about 7 minutes. And so so either you can keep going and then I can turn over the controls to say Wendy, and she can turn it off when you're done.
Can you turn my camera back on? I have something that I want to show you guys.
Let me, before we do that, let me establish this. So should I do that? Should I give you, Wendy, the control, and then you guys can,
well, do you want to keep hanging, or do we do have an appointment too, though.
Yeah, we could.
Do you want to keep going for a little while? Well, that's fine. If you want to make us host.
Okay, so let me do that, because I figured I
out.
got here like an hour ago, but that's no problem. So I'm gonna, Wendy, if I give you the Zoom, would you be able to?
Can you do that? Oh, the other way. Yeah, give it to the other Wendy. Then she can do it.
Wendy, can I give it to you, or I'll give it to Angie, or to...
Okay.
I'm also gonna have to go.
Yeah, because I think most of us have to go anyway, so that's fine, Karen or Christian. We can just wrap it up. I'll just finish what
We always want to leave everyone.
I know. It's like we always want to do more, so we can come back, or you guys can come and do this on my channel too. This is what we do.
I just found a crystal connected to Sirius. Can I show you guys it quick?
Oh, and I forgot to wear mine.
Sure. 1 second. Let me turn your camera back on.
I forgot to wear mine.
1 second. Okay, go ahead, Braden.
I forgot to wear my Sasani contact crystal, so Oh, we have several of those. Oh my God, that's beautiful.
See the babies it is?
Yeah, where's my Lemurian?
Yeah, where's your Lemurian crystal?
All right. So
Thank you for that.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
hang
I'm
on.
gonna turn it over. I'm gonna turn it over to Wendy just to so
Right.
because we need to start doing blessings like this second.
right.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
We just see this going for another 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So
Oh,
Right.
that's
wanna-
fine. No,
But I do
wasn't
need to go.
planning that.
So I just,
Okay.
can I just do our ending announcement so that I can
Oh, sure.
head out?
Okay.
Okay, we have our Hucolo gathering, Hucolo Starseed gathering coming up August 8th through August 12th, 2024. It is $6.95 a person. If you are interested, please email classes@hucolo.org. As Wendy has said earlier, that, you know, the gathering portion of this is what is most essential to the uplifting or the activating of ourselves. Wendy Napoleano and Joan and Susan can attest that the gathering that they did also activated them. So this is all about coming together with like minds, like everything. If you're interested, we are going to be doing this Hucolo Starseed gathering August 8th through the 12th, 2024. Classes@hucolo.org, and I will get information out to you. Thank you. I love you all.
Thank you, Angie. I was just commenting on that. The date is 8/8 of the event, so that's kind of fun.
It is the Lionsgate. We did it on purpose.
Yeah, 8/8. And actually, the last thing Katie and I did together, Katie here together, she and I did the Lionsgate last year together. We did a live event too, so our gathering. So.
Here you are.
There you go.
There you are.
Thank you, Angie. No,
you're welcome.
Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna let you guys continue for a few minutes. I just have to go like in 3 minutes. And so
okay.
however you want to do light language, blessings, whatever you need to do. And you can just, Wendy, I made you the host, so you can just say leave and it will cut everything off. So much love to you guys. It was really great. I was enjoying getting all my little silent activations over here. So please continue.
Thank you
We'll
so
talk
much.
soon. Talk soon. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Nyato veshe. Awesome. Nyato veshe veshe soto. Okay. I want to I'm going to start over. I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to open it up to blessings for everybody, because I think that this is important for everybody to know that from here forward, how to more intentionally use these symbols, whether they're mine or yours or anybody else's. Use these sacred circuit symbols as a new way to interact with your higher mind, your multiverse, the parallel versions of yourselves, the crystalline structures of your consciousness, the multidimensional you. It's the ride. The ride is the destination, the only destination. Your destiny is to listen to your language. You created it. It's not about what you're destined to be. It's about discovering the ever-changing, ever-evolving you, moment by moment, billions of times per second, that you already are, as you become more and more aware of the idea that each and every one of you is a collective consciousness. Remember that, you guys. If you take anything away today, you, each and every one of you, is a collective consciousness. Connecting with, not just capable of, but actually already are always connecting to every other being that are also their own collective consciousnesses. Isn't that something to be excited about? That's it. So if we can understand that each and every one of us is our own collective consciousness, we are each and every one of us, as we come to the table, bring all of the other beings that are part of our soul collective consciousness, we're all bringing them with us. So whether it's in light languages, whether it's in symbols, hand signs, energy, toning, singing, whatever it is, intention, energy, all of it is your collective consciousness speaking to every other collective consciousness and sharing that information to all that is, because everything is all that is. The one is the all, and the all are the one. And when we reconnect this way, in all the ways that we do, this is just another extension, let's say another extension of that consciousness that we get to play here in this way. So use these things intentionally, all of it. The spoken light language is our puppy's ready to go too. So she's waiting for her lunch and her potty time. So no te veshe, kianto vesa, aloshame, shana kedeando vese. So veshanoteve, intia, soponia, kaya shona. And the crystals too. Thank you for bringing up the crystals, because the crystals also are collective consciousness, as many of us already know, that we are connected to that consciousnesses. Dialboshe, tiavashamete, all connecting and carrying and conveying and receiving and sending information as well. Levesomaeshe, each and every one of you is a crystalline being. Kadoveshe, tompeshe. So now I open it up to light language blessings to close out this beautiful, amazing, gracious, wonderful day. I want to thank all of you from my divine heart, and gratitude and appreciation, and to Dave for being with me here today. This was part of my dream come true. And so thank you for helping my dream come true and helping all of you in all the ways that you contributed to my dream. And I hope that our dream helps, expand your consciousness, awareness of your own dreams and capabilities and gifts, and to just share them. Don't compare, just share. Okay? I love you guys so much. Come and join us on our channel, Languages Lights, and buy some books.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yes, you guys, were seriously, it's a mess right now, but I don't care if you don't care. I got 2 beds. Come on, visit. We're in Central Alabama. We're just outside of Birmingham. It's an amazing little, beautiful little, awesome little airport. We were just there. It's so cool. 1 terminal. 1.
Wow.
It's an hour away. We'll come and get you if we have to. But yeah, if you are, it's our temple is your temple. So we invite you all. So.
Right. Well, I'm pretty sure they've stopped recording. So whatever we're saying now is just like, it's just us. I know.
No, it's still live on YouTube.
But are we still live on YouTube? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think until you say leave, we're on, baby. So.
Well, I know I have an engagement party to go to for my son and his fiance, but nonetheless, I will stay just a few more moments. We had so many incredible things happen to us when we were in Scotland and Ireland. And one thing that started for me was this physical body shaking, jerkiness that's like going on. And so I kind of am bouncing, and I'm not trying to bounce, it's just happening. But that was happening like before we left. I would like wake up with these convulsions where all of a sudden I'd be like, my arm would shake or my leg would shake or something. I'd be like, what is happening right now? And then when we were there, when sometimes, I don't know if it's every time, but when I start channeling, when I'm like more in meditation and not, because when you just let it flow, sometimes it just comes out, like Brandon discovered today. If you're just like, oh, it's coming out now.
I can't believe that happened. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then other times
That's
that
so
happens.
awesome.
I mean, that happened with your group, and that happened when we were in Mount Shasta too. We had a group, and I said, okay, who wants to be activated? Raise your hand. Did a little light language for them. And then next thing you know, spontaneously, they were doing light language, several people. So yeah, it definitely happens. But you know what, half of it and half of opening your gifts is the intention, right? The desire to want to do it. And then the allowing is the second half. So that's the harder part. Wanting it, we all want, but the allowing is the hard part. But the vibration of the shaking. So when I was doing light language, was it yesterday? I'm losing track of my days. That's the other thing with this quantum stuff going on. Days blend. But anyhow, when I was doing light language, all of a sudden my whole body was shaking. I was like, oh my God, I was jerking and convulsing. And I'm like, oh no, this is new. but it takes,
happens.
just like you said, like the first time you start making weird sounds, you're like, oh my God, like people are going to judge me. So, you know, when you stop judging yourself, then it also allows it to flow more readily, especially with the dragon growling. Because sometimes, you know, I'm like showing my teeth and growling. So, yeah.
Well, that's a very important part to bring up, Wendy, is about the judging. And we didn't really get a chance. See, I could talk about this all the time. That's why we do all. That's why we do. We totally, you guys, I keep telling you, we got to put something together. Now that you're back, you guys are both back. We need to do something together. And I'm excited to do it on my channel and have you guys on. And anybody, all of you, anybody watching, if you are interested in light language and want to come and hang out, you know, just send me a message, email me, contact me on the website and say, hey, I want to hang out with you, and we'll put it together. We've just been so busy with everything else, but you know what, you need to, I am so happy that I was invited to do this, because it makes me stop and remember, you know, that this is as if not more important, you know, to
connect.
To connect, exactly. And but the judgment, as soon as we lose the judgment, and that's what happened that day. Are you going up? Okay. So, but yeah, I think that was important, a message just in that. As soon as you lose the judgment and you just say, yep, set the intention, say, yep, let my heart speak.
Yeah. So there, and I always say there too, but I know it's like this guide team, and then what'll happen for me, and I feel like this happens to you too, when I see your light language, because I know before I started speaking, I was listening to you for years, and I'd just be like, God, I just need to, I'm like, I just listen to Wendy, where's she at? I need to, you know, find your videos. And so thank you so
how
much
kind
for
of you. That's awesome.
Yeah. Because again, when it's something that's part of you that you're supposed to be doing, you're drawn to it. You're like, and then the same thing with music. Like Susan will tell you, I have added like 3 or 4 musical instruments in this last year. We're like doing more sound stuff.
You guys.
Like, the synchronicities, right? The synchronicity.
We totally need to jam.
But and the toning, you know, the toning just comes.
Yes.
But anyway, but yeah, the light language is coming.
All right, that's it.
We learned some Native American songs for Mount Shasta. So we have drums and
Yes. All right, we're doing a hangout, you guys. We will schedule it. We'll post it. We'll let you know when it's going to happen. We're going to do this. Let's keep in touch, girls.
Yes,
definitely.
Sounds great.
So I'll send you some light language, loving blessings.
Okay, guys, let's do blessings. Everybody
go. They have more, but I'm kind of stopping them.
I know.
I would go for like the next 15 minutes. I'm like, all right, y'all are in the flow, but we gotta wrap this up. But it was definitely ancestral earth energy that was coming up to be presented. It started out galactic, and then it switched over with the toning to open and activate other people to their gifts, to their healing energies. And then the ancestors came in to chant and support the work that we're all doing. That's the gist of what I'm getting.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I love this energy.
Thank you. Blessings. You too.
Honor. It is an honor. Who's next?
I can go next.
Go for it.
All right. Tia sia kitokoa he sikitia tutua he sikaya yokoa yes sikaya tia hasiokotaya he tukoya hia yes kia hia sikuto kaya expand your heart vibration sia hiukotaya he sikitio tia tukotu to encompass all in love sikaya tia yukoa hasikaya tia yukotaya hia sikaya tutia hia siku hia sikaya tuya yes sikia tokoa hia siki you may call upon us. The Unicorn Collective, Sikotaya Hia, Ho sakai huitia, he had sukotoa to brighten your auras. Kitiayo tukotaya siki with our golden light. Sakaya hia. Ho sakai haya, teya hiukutoa hia yesika. Hia sikaya tukutua to lighten your mood. Sikaya hia tukotea to brighten your days. Sikaya tia hia tukotoa hia. Ha sikotoya sikotoya hia. Hia sikaya tukotua for if you wish for us to guide you. Sikotoya sikiaya. Yes, we are more than happy to assist. I am Anastasia, this one's guide. You are greatly honored and blessed. Yeah, Sikotoya, yeah, Sikotoya, yeah, Sikotoya, yeah, yeah, Sikototaya, I love always Sikotoya, yeah, Hitotoya, Hitokoya, yeah, Sikaya, yeah.
Oh, I love that
That was
so much.
Anastasia, my unicorn guide,
I
yeah.
love the unicorn collective. Oh, I love them so much. You know, I got funny thing, you guys, when you open up your imagination and you start to understand your connections, one of the most fun things I ever got to do was experience myself as a unicorn. And isn't that one of the most fun things? Oh, look who came. This is Abigail. This is Abby.
Hi,
She's now
Abby.
She's
she's only
beautiful.
9 months old, but she's about full grown. She's about
She's
30
adult.
pounds. Hey, baby. Well, time for us all to go. Is there anybody else want to bring some blessings before we tune out? Are we good? No? Okay.
I think we're good. So would just like to wrap up saying thank you both for being here. We know there were a few technical fun things that made for some, kind of jumping around in the
Sorry
energy.
about that, you
Still,
guys.
it was fun. It ended up on a strong note, and we're just so blessed to know you and for the beautiful love that you come to share and your willingness to be open and speaking, sharing your light language and gifting that to others and being open. And so inviting and hospitable to meet with others as well. Blessings to you.
Always, you guys, in my heart, and we're open to everybody, and this is what we love to do. We really do. And so I invite everybody to reach out. If you want to do something together, just let me know. I'm always excited to do stuff on your channel, my channel, wherever. It's so much fun. And anybody, that goes out to everybody. I'm just in love with doing this. And I know every time I tell Dave I'm too tired, I'm too stressed, but as soon as I do it, it all melts away, and then I just want to do more. And I remember what it is we're here to do.
Yes.
Yep, I
All
agree.
right, Susan, thank you so much for your light
Love you
language.
guys.
Yes,
Always
Thank you,
pleasure,
Susan.
beautiful girlfriend.
thank you. Look forward
Wendy
to
and Dave, thank you again. And Abby, bye.
and Abby.